I'm Kiera Fuller. I'm 43 years old. I live in the Columbia, Maryland area. I have two amazing kids, a son who's 18, a daughter who's 14, and a wonderful husband named Glenn. My background in terms of work is audit and compliance in both government and private industry.
Let's talk about where you were before, where your health was, where your mental health was before you started the midlife makeover program.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd summarize really quickly like my whole journey being that, I didn't really have to worry about my weight until I was in college. I was thinking this morning, like that was the first time that I felt like I needed to lose weight. And I was also somewhat active. Like I had played a sport in high school, and then in college, I was trying to figure out like what's my workout routine. And kind of fast forward through life, work and having two babies, and kind of where I was when I came to you was having been on the yo-yo roller coaster, like primarily around like what was I doing with regard to nutrition, and like still never really figuring out like how can I make exercise like a sustainable part of my life. So not unlike others in our group, I tried a lot of different things. Weight Watchers was initially like very successful for me, and then you kind of come to like maybe the third or fourth time you're feeling like you're trying to gear up to, do this thing again that works, but yet that it doesn't, because obviously you didn't make it a sustainable part of life. And so, where I was when I came to you was at my heaviest ever, even at the height of my pregnancies, which was just kind of overwhelming to me. I didn't feel good. I'd gone to the Great Wolf Lodge with my family, which was supposed to be like a fun thing. And I remember standing on the type of slide that where you stand on a platform and it drops out from underneath of you and you go whoosh down the water slide. I remember I couldn't even cross my legs. And so at that point, like I just had it with myself, and I was really ready to do something very different with not only the like shorter term goal of losing weight, but really starting to think about like into my 40s, what does my health and fitness look like for the rest of my life?
Like, what about this is different than the Weight Watchers or different than the other things that you've tried?
I probably focus around three things. So when it comes to nutrition, it's really a flippin' mindset. Like I love this phrase that you instill in us, which is you can have anything, but not everything. Right. And that makes sense. Like we all reasonably know we can't eat like it's, Thanksgiving Day every day for years. And like that's going to work out, mathematically for us in terms of how we feel and what we weigh. It's kind of like having tried all these different things, there's a lot of restriction. It really is not sustainable. Another part that's different, it's high touch, high end coaching, and you care about us all, you and Sarah, as individuals, and you kind of look at us as a whole, where are we in life, our age, our fitness level. You help us, tailor our nutrition program to us. And then you're there like all the time. I mean, it's like having a phone a friend. You've been with me on vacations, you've been with me on business trips. Like you're there all the time, and I can't ignore you even if I wanted to. And so through being accountable to you, because I know I want to be doing well in this program, I'm also building that accountability for myself. And then third, I would say, all of these other programs that I've tried, like they may be focused more on nutrition, and in the background they're like, well, and also you should work out and also you should walk. But in this case, it really is kind of like bringing all the puzzle pieces together on nutrition, fitness, and then even more so, what's your mindset around all of this? And you're hitting on all of those different areas. And so to me, that's what has made it so different and also so successful.
Let's talk about your biggest wins.
Absolutely. I've lost, almost 60 pounds. But I was also focused on like, again, I want to make working out a regular part of my life. And so the workouts for me, even though in the past I may have tried like more cardio based workouts, I had never tried strength training. I found that I love strength training, and I think that's a really big win, because something I didn't realize is like what I would say is a reasonable time investment, 30 minutes 3 to 4 times a week, but like reaps huge rewards in terms of how it changes your body, how you feel, and then how you don't feel burned out over all of the excessive cardio that many of us may have tried over the years. But of course I feel better. Of course I'm excited about clothes fitting differently or dropping sizes, but there's all these other things that are evident in the work that we do in the program, just simply by going to the doctor and getting your blood work and realizing like, I happen to have high cholesterol, and my doctor's really helping me reason through, do we need to put you on medicine or not? And so just exploring that, I have data from 1 year to the next that I dropped my bad cholesterol 20 points. And all I've been doing is this program. any of us who are wearing fitness devices, like you just get all of this data that is so much more than the weight. Like my resting heart rate has gone down. I mean, there's, your watch congratulates you, you're getting more steps in, you're getting more movement in, and it's just all of those things that kind of pile up and make you realize like how much more there is to this than the weight, on the scale. My bathing suit bottom fit differently at the beginning of this summer than it did at the end, like, because I'm working out, like, and you were like, oh, I am so not sorry for you, which is a really great feeling because, again, like, the scale didn't move that much, but I'm continuing to work out and I'm going to keep continuing to change my body. Like, I'm not done yet.
You're talking with such confidence, now where you are. I want you to think about when you first started the journey and thinking about like any fears that you had or, concerns or doubt, or maybe anything you were skeptical about.
I mean, I know a big one, and I've heard other people talk about it in these same interviews, was like, I told you, I don't want to track my food. I did it at different periods of my life and was very much not excited about it. And I look at it completely differently. Like, I mean, I don't know that I would say that it was a fear. I think I was doubtful about it too, because you're like, oh, well, we use an app called MyFitnessPal. And I'm like, well, I tried that before. And now I realize looking back, like, I didn't know how to use the mechanics of like, tracking food and watching calories and the macronutrients that we're focused on and like how that equates to like what I was after, which was weight loss. So I feel like I got over that pretty quickly. And I also realized like what gets measured gets managed. And, I'm feeling very adult at this point, knowing that like I think that's going to have to be a tool that I use, for the long haul. And it only takes me a couple minutes a day. And if I don't, keep that in check, like I think I could easily slide backwards in terms of weight and, bad habits around food. So I think the food thing is a struggle for for many of us, obviously, but that was something I was really kind of fearful of in the beginning, was like, am I going to feel like I'm starving myself? Is this just going to be miserable? And it's not, because you have taught us and me how to eat in a way that even though I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm not like feeling like I'm walking around, like, going to bed hungry, or that I can't eat something if I really am hungry. And then I would say I was a little apprehensive about strength training. I'm not an athletic person. Again, I never really strength trained. I mean, I think I kind of tried in high school, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so you guys have made it like easy as pie. It's like, I load up one of your workouts. It's kind of like a recipe. I follow the instructions. I get to the end. I'm like, yay. But I am certainly not like a coordinated, gazelle like individual as I'm doing my workouts or my training. So I was a little nervous about that as well, but then I was able to get over that pretty quickly.
I want to touch on the nutrition piece and in comparison to what you've done before and just life in general. Like, do we ever tell you not to eat something like chocolate, tell you it's bad, or pizza, I don't know, whatever, or anything like that?
No. And I think, one thing that I would say too is like, not only do you not like restrict us in every way, there's no shame. You guys are always saying that there's like no shame, there's no judgment. It's something that I certainly appreciated after trying a couple of different things. I tried like the Whole30 paleo lifestyle. And again, while it worked for a period of time, I can't cut out, things like dairy and other like whole food groups for the rest of my life. And I want to be able to go to a restaurant and feel like I can partake, without an insane amount of stress over, what I'm about to eat. So I think that's another, really important part about this program is kind of like this, there's nothing off limits, and that if you really want, like you said, the cake or the pizza or whatever, you can certainly plan for it and make it work and also lose weight while you're doing it, which was a huge learning for me.
Yeah, I think that's so important, like the learning part of like not to food shame. And in fact, like some things are better than others in many cases. To me, that's so important, and not to label foods as good or bad. All right. So, Kira, what would you say? Because we have this a lot to people who are been following us for a little bit of time or even for a long time, and they're just really scared. They're really scared to pull the trigger because, I think about you 2 years ago, you've tried so many things and you're just afraid that it's the wrong thing. We're just like everybody else. They're thinking about it, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. What would you say to them?
I would say that it's understandable. It's a personal and financial commitment. It really is. I hate to say it this bluntly, like a pay now or pay later kind of situation for most of us. There's really nothing to lose. So if you are coachable and you're willing to learn, and you have the commitment and you are ready for this change, like there's no losing and trying. I just can't recommend the program enough. I truly believe that what you and Sarah teach us is just how to live normally. If you could do it on your own, you would have done it by now. There's no shame in like needing an expert to help me. And when I think about it, all the years of money that I've spent, whether it be Weight Watchers or gym memberships that I didn't actually use, there's nothing more noble, I feel like, than this, because you are truly teaching us how to be normal through holidays, through trips, through illnesses, through caretaking of others. Like, you're gonna learn, you're gonna be successful. So I just say dive in and do it. What do you have to lose?
Yay.
Except for some weight, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.